Hey y'all, it's Brijin the Museum Stitcher. Welcome back to my channel for Flosstube number 41. Today that I'm filming is Saturday, May 18th of 2024, and I am so excited to be back chatting with you. It's been about 3 weeks, I think, since I last filmed, and I have been up to a lot. So if you're new here, this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my crafting life, mostly about cross stitch. Today I have cross stitch, quilting, crochet, and sewing actually. So if any of those things, or also usually books, I don't have any books today, but if any of those things tend to interest you, I hope you will like, subscribe, and leave me a comment and hang around. If you're returning, welcome back. I have been up to a lot since we last spoke, and the other crafts bug has bit me back again. So we have a lot to cover today. It's also my last update before StitchCon 2024. So I've got a lot of things I've been prepping for that. So there are some secret things today that I can't share, but I'll go ahead and pre-film to share with you after all the goodness of StitchCon is over. And before we fully get into it, I should address the elephant in the room, and that is that my bangs are back. If you have been with me since the beginning of my channel, when I started Flosstube, I had bangs and I grew them out. Probably, I think I grew them out right before StitchCon of last year, and I missed them. So they're back with my more natural hair color, and not the dark brown they were when I first started my channel. So anyway, all that being said, let's get into all of the stitchy goodness today, shall we? So cross stitch wise, I've only worked on a few projects, but I've gotten pretty good progress on them. But I've had a few no stitching days in the last couple weeks, and then again, I am trying to get some sewing presents and some crochet things done. So my stitchy time has been split into other crafts, but that's okay. The first project that I worked on since we chatted was a birthday start for one of my nearest and dearest friends, Megan Babauta, the Seattle Stitcher. We kitted this project up, which is Remember Me by Teresa Kogut. We kitted this up together right after it came out. I think it was Market 2023. And it is a beautiful, beautiful sampler. I should also go ahead and PSA that it is a lovely morning here in Texas, and my dad is getting some yard work done. So if you happen to hear any yard work stuff happening, I'm sorry, but we have to get this stuff taken care of before it's 10,000 degrees outside. So it's a PSA that you might hear it, but there's not much I can do about it because this is the time I have to film because we're seeing a movie later. So anyway, this Remember Me by Teresa Kogut. I've wanted to start this for forever, and so when Megan's birthday rolled around back at the end of April, we decided to start it together. So that is a super special piece, and I have this internalized goal that for the projects that I do start in 2024, before I put them away, I want to get them to at least the 10% mark. So for this project, which is absolutely massive, 10% ended up being a lot of stitches because this is a very dense sampler. But I started this actually the day before Megan's birthday. I snuck in my little sneaky start. So I started this April 27th. I'm stitching mine on a 40 count Not Another Sampler linen by BeStitchMe, which is a more pinky cut of it, which works really well for the called for ballet slippers. And I'm stitching it with the Vicki Clayton Silk conversion that I purchased when I first kitted it up. And this is sitting at about 11% complete, or almost 3,000 stitches. So I did a lot of work on this one. This center flower here on the top border is a bear, but she's done. So anyway, this is just past the halfway point of the top floral border. And then when I pick it back up again, I will finish out the full width of the piece and then start on the fun inner portion before I go back to the floral border. But I just love it. It's actually not that many flosses. This is the floss ring with my Vicki Clayton Silks on some Cosmic Pink Atom Heart thread hearts, which are my favorite floss drops. And it's just some lovely, lovely colors. And I cannot wait to see this project come together more. It fits perfectly on a fat quarter of 40, but there's a lot of dense parts, which is why it's so huge. But anyway, got it to past the 10% mark, which I'm very excited about. So again, happy birthday, Megan. I love it when you have a piece that reminds you of your friends. And also, you know, the quote on this one, "When this you see, remember me," also just fits the situation very well. So I'm keeping this in a bag from, I believe, Cricklewood Crossing. I bought this at StitchCon last year, and it's a vertical project bag, which I really like. And actually the vinyl on this, I mean, those are some good clicks. It's the stiffest vinyl I've ever felt in my whole life. And I want to know where to get it because it's just an insane quality bag. It also felt good to pull this bag out for the new season of Bridgerton because it's very, very Bridgerton. But anyway, I worked on this for a total of 4 days to get that progress. And I averaged about 740 stitches a day working on it. So anyway, that is Remember Me. That is one of my 2 new starts. The other new start is a secret. I did a lot of stitching to fully stitch and finish my StitchCon small. I'm not going to show it to you yet. This is just a preview of the back of the pillow. But anyway, this little guy, I will tell you, was almost 2,700 stitches. So you can add that to my list of stitches I got done, but I cannot share this one, even though it is so stinking cute. But I will show you my little museum stitcher label that I bought for it, or that I made those for other things as well. So anyway, that is Remember Me. And then after that, I decided to work on my Manning May piece. So if you're unfamiliar, Manning May is a stitch along that I started with my friends Cam, Marjorie, and Megan, all of whose channel will be linked down below. And we essentially loved so many Carolyn Manning designs that we couldn't pick. So we decided to do Manning May to work on Carolyn Manning pieces in the month of May. So show some support to that designer and encourage everyone to pull out a Carolyn Manning that they have or that they want to work on. And so for this year's Manning May, because we're keeping it going again, I wanted to pull out my existing whip because last year I started a pretty large one and I didn't get a super ton of progress. But I have some pretty heavy goals with this one. So the last time that you saw it, I'll post a picture here. This is Bountiful Blooms by Carolyn Manning. And it was sitting at about 7.1% complete, or about 1,700 stitches out of a grand total of 25,200. And the last time that you saw it would have been my whip parade, but the last time I worked on it was last May. So pulling it out again, I want to get this to 25%. So this is my first pass at working on it. I have done a lot. It is now sitting at 16.7%, so I've almost done a full 10% so far, with 4,212 stitches in total complete. I stitched about 2,400 stitches over 3 days to get it here, and the next time I pick it up, I will do that again. To get this to 25%, I need to do a total of 4,500 stitches. And coincidentally, this was one of my 2 whip go calls for the month of May. So it needed to be worked on anyway. So I decided to just make it a pretty hefty whip go call. So I fully finished out the entire top border in green. I still need to fill in the interior of the border, but this is the full width of the piece mapped out. I finished up some of these outer leaves here. I did all of these little doodads and these over here and started this whole flower on this side. I love this piece because it reminds me of a English paper piece quilt. And I was a quilter before I was a cross stitcher, and I just love this piece. I'm stitching it on a 16 count French Country Aida, which is this beautiful light cool toned purple with 2 strands of DMC over 1 square of Aida. Let me grab my project bag here. I do have the DMC pulled. I'm keeping this in a Forbidden Fiber Co. project bag. And these are just my Atom Heart floss bobbins with my DMC stickers. But this is the beautiful palette for this piece. I just love it so much. So anyway, this will get one more good turn of a couple days from me this month, with that intention of getting it to 25%. So that is this year's Manning May. I mean, just look at the colors, guys. Rachel of Lemonade Stitching here on Flosstube, she is doing the most fun thing with hers. She took this, I think it was this flower, it might have been a different one, but she essentially made the design into a small square and is stitching these corner bookmarks with the design, and it is so adorable and such a fun way to just kind of stitch a part of a piece. And I'm totally gonna have to copy her with some other Carolyn Mannings in the future because it's functional and adorable. So go check out her Instagram or her Flosstube to see those, but I just love it. This piece is so amazing. And quite a few of you actually started the same one, which is really fun. And I love seeing everyone join in on Manning May. It's been so successful and such a fun stitch along to do that we're just gonna keep it going for however long we have Carolyn Mannings we want to stitch, which considering my current inventory of patterns from Carolyn Manning is like 12, it's gonna be a long time. So that is whip number 2. I should also say I did work a bit on my vanity sampler by Hello from Liz Mathews, but since I only did a couple days to finish up my April section, I stitch on this every month with the intention of getting it done by the end of December of this year. It is actively on my stitching stand in a hoop right now, and I didn't want to get it out of there because I'm working on my May section. So I will show that one to you guys next time when the May section is fully complete, and we'll just go over all the progress at once. But I did spend like 2 or so days getting that actually finished. Okay, so the final project that I got some progress on that I wanted to share is a very special project to me. And this is one that I've been talking about sporadically over the last year. This is my round robin with some of my best stitching friends. A bunch of us decided last year to do Quaker Gardens by Hello from Liz Mathews as our round robin piece. So we passed it around, everyone stitched a flower on everyone's piece, and then when it came back to us, we just had to finish out the bottom borders. So the last time that you saw my specific project, when I first sent it off into the ether, this is what it looked like. And you guys have not seen it all fully stitched up by my friends since, but I have done a good bit of work on the bottom borders to get this to a finishing point. So this is what it looks like now. So this is my piece. It is stitched on a 36 count Bramble linen by Picture This Plus with Colour Cotton Patchwork floss, which is a beautiful purple. It's a very gray toned purple piece, and it's very tone on tone. I love it so much. And you can see all the initials of all of my friends as they have worked on it. And I went through and finished out all these letters here, this entire border section here, and a good chunk of the house. This actually was an idea of my friend Maddie of Kitty Stitch, who stitched this flower on mine. Maddie had the idea that since the majority of us will be at StitchCon who have not finished our pieces yet, that we should get our projects to a finishing point and finish them at our table at StitchCon together. So this has about 700 stitches left on it. I have stitched 2,888 stitches on it over the course of 5 days to get it here. So when it came back to me, it didn't have any of this or this. So anyway, I've got it to a point where I just have to do house fill-in, which should be pretty easy. And we'll get this done and get to go ring the bell together and take pictures with our pieces. And it's just gonna be so much fun. So shout out to Maddie for having an awesome idea there. I cannot wait to bring this to StitchCon and get it all finished with my girlies. And yeah, so highly recommend doing a round robin with your friends if you're interested. It's a really good time. The variegation on the fabric and the floss and just the specialness of knowing that all of my friends touched this and had it in their homes and stitched some love into this piece. I cannot wait to get it framed it's just, it looks amazing. So we started this back in, I think our first swap was in August, and it took a while to come back around, and then I didn't work on it at all last month, so had to get it to this point. So I love that piece so much. Okay, and that is it for cross stitch whips that I've worked on, but I do have a tiny bit of haul. I have a crochet project to share and a couple updates about what I've been working on outside of cross stitch, as well as some cross stitch plans. So we'll do a little bit of cross stitch plans first. So for the rest of this month, the month of May, my plans are to finish my vanity sampler goal for the month. I need to finish my Song of the Nightingale goal for the month. I need to finish my Days of Christmas goal for the month. And then my other Whip Go calls, the free space I use to start and finish my StitchCon small. So that is a check mark on the Whip Go call. I need to work a bit more on my Mani May to get that second Whip Go done. And the final Whip Go for me was Margaret Hall 1872, which is a sampler I've not worked on since New Year's. And I love that piece. And coincidentally, my friend Marjorie of Marjorie Made did Pick a Whip for the second half of this month, and it's a project that starts with the letter M. So I'll be doing double duty on Margaret Hall with Whip Go and Pick a Whip, and I'm excited to pull that out. I haven't worked on it in forever, and it's such a fun piece. I'm really pumped to get my hands on it again. So that's everything for the rest of this month, and then I just need to pick out the projects I'm taking to StitchCon. I am going to, fingers crossed, attempt to film while I'm at StitchCon and actually get some content together. So I may do a little bit of a vlog of what I'm packing cross-stitch wise for StitchCon, if that would be interesting for anyone. But that is all the prep work that I've done so far for StitchCon. I do have my color and cottons of the month. The flosses this month are beautiful brown, red, and blue. This is the All Colors Club. It's my favorite subscription. And then the fabric is 40 count creme brulee, which is a beautiful neutral. I'm in the neutrals club, so that is my haul. Not very exciting, I know, but they are so incredibly useful. The way I use my stash fabrics, absolutely insane. Okay, so let's touch on quilting real quick. So the last time we talked, I had just started working on my Taylor Swift Eras Tour quilt again. This is a quilt that I'm doing inspired by the surprise songs she played on the US leg of the tour. And I finished the quilt top and my piece backing, and unfortunately I forgot to take pictures. I've just sent it off to the quilter to be fully quilted. I send mine to a long armor because I don't have anywhere that I can rent long arms in my area that I know of. I found someone who does an incredible job. She's done a lot of my quilts, and I find it a lot easier just to let her do the quilting and the binding for me. Those are neither steps that I enjoy. So anyway, that I will show when it gets back in a few weeks probably. But I did finish the quilt, and that did take a lot of my Saturday craft time of working on that because the piece backing was a math nightmare. So that is the quilting update. Hopefully I'll have more to actually show you later. And then I actually have crochet. So if you might not know this about me, but way before I was a cross stitch content creator, I guess, not really. This isn't my full-time job, but before I was making cross stitch videos, I did actually have a crochet Instagram where I crocheted a lot. This was my primary hobby in the pandemic, and I haven't gotten back to it in a while. I kind of burnt myself out on it, but when my friend Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch posted this pattern to her story, I thought it was so freaking cute and functional for a hot summer in Texas, and I had to start one. So I went to Joann's that night and I picked up a bunch of yarn for this cardigan. This is a peekaboo cardigan. I cannot remember the designer's name, but I will have it written down below. And I'm using Made with Love, the Cottony one by Lion Brand Yarn. This is a cotton acrylic blend in the color Primrose Hill, which is this gorgeous pinky brown. I love it. I'm excited to have something that's going to be kind of cotton and lightweight. It's a mesh cardigan, and I have done quite a bit. So this cardigan is worked all as one large piece, and then you seam things together at the end. And I am working on the first half of the sleeves so far. So this is my back panel of the project, and is my stitch marker there? Yeah, this is the front side, the right side of the project. But it is this gorgeous pattern of single crochets and double crochets and linked double crochets. It's so easy and so mindless. I've been working on this project just kind of sporadically, and I've gotten a lot of progress. I spent probably one solid day working on it, and then just bits and pieces here and there. I took this to my D&D group that meets on Wednesday, and I stitched through the parts of combat that I wasn't, like when it wasn't my initiative. And it kept my hands busy, and I got a lot done that night too, because D&D is a long game. But anyway, that is my cardigan. So I just need to, I've got, I think 3 or 4 more rows to finish out the first half of the sleeve, and then I'll start dividing for the collar and the front panels. And then I just need to put in the ribbing around the whole edging and seam it together and block it, and it'll be done. So anyway, I've never actually, as much as I crocheted in the past, I never actually made any crochet garments. I did a lot of blankets and hats and things, but I never made any clothing for myself. So this will be actually my first garment, knitted or crocheted, for me to wear. And I keep this in a project bag. This is a variation on the Can Do Crafts drawstring bag. This is my favorite style of knitting bag, is these drawstrings. But I made this out of a tote bag I received in a box. So it's ACOTAR themed. I backed it with some fabric, and I put vinyl on the bottom, and then it's got pockets on the inside, say like Train Like an Illyrian, and some like night sky prints. So anyway, this is a little bag I made that I love. I have like 8 of these bags, and they're just so incredibly useful. But this was a funky size to fit this panel. So that's the crochet update. So yeah, I'm excited to get back to that. It felt really good to get back into that craft. I was worried I was going to be kind of a beginner at it again, because it had been at least 1.5 years since I worked on anything. But I believe that is it for me today. I know it's a bit of a short update, but I have a lot of secret things I can't share with you. I've got a ton of table gifts that I finished that I'm going to film a quick segment of before I go. So anyways, I hope that you guys have an amazing few weeks. I will be back in a couple weeks after StitchCon to give my post-StitchCon update, let you know what I've been working on and how my goals worked out for the end of May. But I hope that you guys spend some time doing the hobbies that you love, that you maybe try an old craft that you put down, and try and get back into it, because that's fun. Sometimes it doesn't call to you, and sometimes it does. And for me, both the quilting and the crochet bug hit pretty hard. So I hope that wasn't too boring for you guys. If you made it to this point in the video, go ahead and leave me a ball of yarn emoji to symbolize that new craft. You guys know I have a little tradition here of revealing an emoji at the end of my videos, just to see who makes it this far, because I'm a yapper when it comes to talking about crafts. So I hope that you guys have a great couple of weeks. I'll be back in just a bit to talk to you again. And if I'm going to see you at StitchCon, let me know. I'll be at Weekend A, and I can't wait to meet you guys and see my girlies and have essentially a week-long craft-themed sleepover with them. So anyways, I love you all. I hope you have an amazing couple of weeks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.